Welcome back to another Scalper video. Today we're going to be looking at something that I thought I would never be using, and that's indicators. So let's just get into it. So VWAP, I've got a weekly, one band, multiplier, and this is the way I use it. So I'm using it on GBP USD, ICE, 30-minute chart. This is usually how I started looking at it now. So the previous week, so this is all, where do I get this thing? This whole section is 1 week. This is 1 week, and it resets every week, right? I don't know if you know how VWAP works, but that's how it works. It resets every week, and then you get that. I don't know what this calculation is. Maybe I'll look into it, maybe not. But this is how I use it. So we've got the area of VWAP, or I'll use the week that passed. So we've got this, let me just use, so we've got this area, this is where it opened, right? And the blue line is the one standard deviation. I don't know what the measurement is, I don't know what the calculations are, but the blue line is one standard deviation of that. Just delete all this quickly. And this is how I use it. When it closes, I use the 4:30 time on a Friday, and I extend that box out. That's like my kind of support and resistance, if you want to put it like that. You can see sometimes it doesn't hit that level. This red dotted line is what I use actually into future levels. So a lot of times I'll only use that level for 1 week, but you'll see that this red dotted line, which is the actual VWAP, in future weeks it like gets to it more or less precisely, and you can use that as like turning points or like support and resistance basically. So how it works is actually quite simple. Let me go back, and then I'll show you on the session time as well. This is a week, so this is week by week. So I use it both in context. I'm trying to find one that was actually within the week. Okay, here for instance, I'll use this one. This one is a bit more simple. So this was the news event, Friday 7th of June. That's NFP, I think. What is this? I don't know. Okay, that's NFP. So I'll just look at it and I'll mark out quickly. Or let's use this. So right here it opens in the range. So now if it gets to this side of the range, I'm expecting it to move to the other side. And if it's outside the range, I'm expecting it to bounce and go further that way. Like that. If it goes outside the range, I'm expecting to move away, bounce, and continue. So that's this horizontal. And then you got this dynamic one, which is I'm also using as if it bounces, it stays in. Like if it's inside, it stays in until it moves out, and then it has time. And then, yeah. So for instance here, got out. Let me just clear this up quickly. Broke this level right here. Spent some time outside, came back in. So right here is where I'm taking action. I'm looking at it, is it going to bounce or is it going to continue going back in? If it goes back in, where is it going to? There's the first level I'm looking at, there's the next one. Okay, it doesn't get to this one, but bounces here. So now this level is important to me, and it broke in here. So I'm expecting it to come here, bounce, and then get back to this level. And if it breaks this level, I'm expecting it to go all the way through to the other side. But it doesn't, just bounces off this level, stays on this level, and within this range. breaks out, stays under the level and within the range. Let's clear all of this. In the next week, as you can see, it's still developing, but it still stays almost inside these areas. And when it breaks and comes back to these areas, back to the area, reverse or goes to the other side. Bounce off this level, of this area, to the other side, and now you can see like kind of a flag pattern forming, and then it breaks into the level. Once it breaks into here, I'm looking for confirmation that it's gonna go through to the other side. That's basically like what I'm looking at. And that's a bounce off this level, because it's probably not gonna come back in. And then you see here when it comes back, we're looking at this level again, bounces off here, there's highs, and then once it gets there, it comes all the way to the other side. Now this is just like a overview of what happens. Let me clear everything again. And this happens like week after week. This is something I'm looking into. I haven't taken any trades with it yet, but I'm seeing it's quite effective. So it bounces here, and it came off. Tried to break this, couldn't, came off. Small bounce, gets to the other edge of the range. So now once it bounces here, I'm looking for it to get back here. Forms, and then bounces through. Now I'm expecting a move all the way to the end. Doesn't, comes back in. Here's the bounce. Comes through here. Bounce. I'm expecting it to get here. It does. So this would be a trade. 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 Oh, we are still developing, but it could be a trade. Yeah, it could be a trade. Yeah, there could be a trade. Just selling it off. But this is just like getting context to what's actually happening. As you can see here, it's above, it's above, it's above. There's a move away, and then it bounces off this one. Move away, bounces off, and I'm looking for all of this while we're in this range. I'm looking for it to get to the top of the range or to come back into this area, and then I bounces off here to get back to the bottom of the range. Bounce, bounce. Back to the bottom of the range, breaks through. Now here I'm looking. This is VWAP. I don't look at it all the time. Sometimes it's important, sometimes not. But it's quite close to this edge. So this is a bounce. You take it to the edge, to the end of that level. So that's like what? Let's clear all of this and let's measure 40 pips. Almost like super low drawdown. Here we've got 40, 38 pips, 7 pip drawdown. Now I've got the next week. Opens inside, expecting this to bounce. Get a bounce to the other edge of the range. Now we're outside this. So once outside, it stays outside until it gets inside, which makes sense. Bounce, bounce out. So this one, it's a wedge, gets through, outside again, outside, outside, and now we're outside this range as well. So we're expecting a move up into that area. It seems quite simple, and it actually is, like just reading it like this. So here we've got no area, I haven't made names for this. I haven't seen anyone else use it like this. Uh, see, gets there to the other edge quite close. But I'm going to show you where this really is crazy. When you look at it intraday, see that bounce, stays within that range, bottom, goes to the top, bottom, stays outside, boom, outside, still up to this area. So like that VWAP, that level, not what's it called? The band levels. The actual VWAP level is what I'm looking at after the week. So this is like 2 weeks prior. I'm looking at the VWAP. I'm not really looking at these band levels as much or putting as much emphasis on it. But now we look at it from a actually let's do this. Let's do this one shot. Do a 5 minute chart. Reset and I'll look at sessions and we'll do the exact same thing. So this is gonna give a daily VWAP. And I'll show you how I use it now. At 5 p.m. I usually do 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you see once we're in this range for this day, to get my drawing tool back, start outside the range, bounce. This is new day, New York. I'm just gonna do that. Oh, let me not do that. Bounce, bounce off the level. We're still inside these ranges. Bounce. Now we get outside, and we're inside this new range. So this range we're inside, this range we're outside. So once we're outside, we're staying outside until it shows that we're going inside, or it accepts inside basically. Because the other end of the range, bounce, edge, bounce, edge, bounce. Now it goes through. Now when we get here, it bounced here, but it's inside. So right now I wouldn't know if we're going up or if we're going at the bottom. So this is like basically how I frame these kind of things or these ideas. That's just what is this? So I don't know if we're going to the bottom, like going down further, or if we're going up to this the top of this range. Because we came from outside, we just got in. So this area is what I'll be looking at as confirm. That's the area I'm looking at to confirm if we're going down or up. With these points being of high importance. It's kind of difficult doing it on GBP USD. On futures, it's a bit easier, but not really the thin markets, not NAS and not crude. I think on like S&P, I got this like, yo, not down to a science, not down to a T, but I can do it pretty well. I just started looking at it and I can do it pretty well. But this just one day, like you could have gotten entry here, could have gotten short here, you could have, oh, it's so thick now. Just wait. Could have gotten a short inside here, could have gotten a long inside here after the bounce. Like look for confirmations on low time frame and then hold it to the other edge of the range. So like here you get in, here you get out. How much? I'm delete all the drawings. And you're gonna look at how large this range was. It's not super crazy range, 15 pips. 15 pip range with heat of like 5-6 pips. If you got in here, yeah. And if you got in up here, there's almost no heat. Just 40 pips down. So mixing this with like a determining thing like the daily bias or time of day, that's what I'm mixing it with to actually get entries and things. So for instance here, let me just show you this. There's also something I saw. So once it like slopes up and it's at the bottom, creates this wedge kind of thing, and then it has more likely probability of pushing through, or at least from what I've seen. So it'll come from below, break this, bounce, and then come in here, bounce again, and go to the other edge. Mm, mm. Boom, boom. So your entry could be here once it breaks back in after this bounce. Yeah, like here. 5 point stop, 20 point target, 1 to 4. Nothing insane, but it's still like you're doing this without I'm doing it without any bias, without any other projection levels that I usually draw on. I had a bunch of things. I think here. Okay. Thursday, you know, it's new day, New York. Okay. Inside, still inside. We accept outside. Bounce. Move away. Bounce. Get inside. All the way through. Come back around. So bounce inside, bounce inside. And now we're bouncing at the top of this range. So now we have this range that we're looking at. We could play like a breakout here maybe, or actually try and get off this VWAP, which I don't tend to do often. I usually try and get these extremes. Like here, for instance, is somewhere where I would look at, okay, now this is valid because we're rejecting the level again. We're inside this range, so it's probably gonna try and divert the other way, and we're rejecting the previous day's range. So we could look for a move down, and how far down? Previous VWAP that's below, or let me just delete all of this, or some weekly level like this VWAP. That's my target. Or it hasn't really reached that, but just maybe that again. So if I'm taking it off this bounce, so something in here, 27, 5 point stop. And then Friday. And I didn't really look at Monday because Monday is usually the same as the weekly. But if you look at it, you could just scalp this and go crazy. Just in between the range. open inside, get to the top, bounce at that level, stays inside, breaks out. Now we see this is getting closer. So right here we're pretty close. Oh, why it's so thick? Right here we're pretty close. After it bounces, we can look for a move back up here, or into this area, or into here. Once we bounce off here, we're looking for a rejection here. After we come back in, when we're back in here, we're looking for area here that accepts. So we got that rejection, we got the bounce, we're looking for it to accept, and then taking a play off somewhere up here, which we didn't get, and holding until the other end of the range. Same thing here, waiting for it to come back in, bounce, other end of the range. For now, it looks quite, I don't want to say this, but kind of simple, simplistic. But I want to try and I want to see if I can use it intraday and how that would look like, what it would look like. If there's anything that I'm maybe missing or overlooking. Yeah. And then with this, I use session weekly and then monthly as well. But not too often with a monthly 30-minute chart. So chart. As you can see, like the monthly also gives like some sort of direction. Like here it's inside, stays inside, big move to the other end of the range. That's NFP. Here breaks back inside, bounce at that level, bounce here, bounce here. So in terms of the monthly, let me just go to this one. If I look at it like that, and I have to go to replay mode, and I go into changes to weekly, so it's similar. It's the first week of June. Now I'll change that to session. Okay. Now I know, like, okay, there's a monthly level here. We're probably not going to reach the top of this session level. And monthly, I would use well, I've seen this to work more, the VWAP level, actually a holding price. So this would be the range that I'd look at to work within. And it overlaps with that weekly level. So this bounce here, doing the monthly and weekly, I could look at that as a range to just like play long, short, long, short. Like here, for instance, just get this. That would be the bounce. And I'd look to take it to the other edge. So up here, probably not here, because there's a monthly level. Yeah. It is a bit complicated, at least for me. I'm just starting to use it. Just close replay. Just starting to use it, so is a bit complicated. Is a bit much to look at, keep watch of, and then me throwing this on with other things like my projection levels for the day, like flout, Asian range projection, all of those things are still coming onto the chart. Okay, you can see Asian range high was taken out, which is just after London session. And you get the shorting opportunity to at the end of the range, which is here. So you could take a short up here somewhere. I'm kind of forcing it now because we are after London session. So once you get back into this range and get that bounce, you take that 30 pips, 5 pip stop. I went to 6. That's a good Monday. Decent. Yeah, for instance, you could take this. Just do quick midnight to 8 p.m. to be about there. Yeah, that's 8 p.m. Recent range expansion on the level. So you're waiting. Okay, it's in the time on the level, hitting that long here, 5 pips. At the end of the range is a target. You get stopped out. Boom, 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 boom. Now, Wednesday. Oh, I think there's, yeah, that London range is too small. I might use a flout then, but Wednesday, midnight to 8 p.m. No projection level. Up here, projection level. This is New York session, I think. Yeah, New York session. You take a short up here somewhere. 5 point stop. Target is at the end of the range and the daily level. So to be here, here, and here. Obviously, we'll be charging once it gets to this level. Is it breaking this one now and creating new highs and accepting? So basically, is it doing that and doing this, or is it doing that and coming through the level, bouncing and doing this, which it did here? It broke through here. This was the bounce, and this couldn't break. So you would expect this to go all the way through, maybe even to the other edge. Oh, but down here. Yep, it does get there eventually. A 1 to 8 if you took that, and a 1 to 5 if you took the other level. I have this area bounces off the projection, high of the day. Now you're waiting to see if this is gonna hold, waiting to see you can go through there. Like you could just take this on a momentum trade through here and check if it bounces here, if it goes the other way. So basically this is the point where you're really focused and paying attention, as well as this area over here, because it's VWAP and the previous level, I don't even know what to call it, was quite close to that. Then target, since we're outside the range, we're taking a short up here. Let's just say we took it at VWAP here. Close below VWAP. Okay, hold 5 points. What is this? That's this level. Halfway through. Yeah, 6.2. Or you could hold it a bit longer to here, 6.8. Should we get a bit of throwdown over there? So that's me just playing around, adding some like small projection levels. I don't think I did the projection levels right even. I didn't check to validate if they are like valid or not. But yeah, taking it to that high. Basically, if it's inside this range, you want to target the extremes. If you're taking trades outside the range, you want to target previous um, point of control. So that one is traded through. The next point of control will be down here. So this could even be the target. 813. Didn't get there yet, but could continue going lower in the coming week. That's basically like last week's trading if I had to take positions. We're up 6, down once of +5, +10, +16.8 theoretically. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Um, hope you guys found this insightful. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Cheers.